Hallo zusammen, willkommen zurück zu einer weiteren Folge. Wir spielen jetzt ein bisschen die Archonten-Quest weiter. Ich hoffe, es gefällt euch und ja, viel Spaß beim Zuschauen. Wir müssen uns jetzt in die Wüste machen, um Hilfe bei den Wüstenbewohnern zu suchen. Und wir haben keine Ahnung, wie uns das weiterhelfen wird, aber wir werden sehen. So, wir sind jetzt vor Karawanen Ribat und begeben uns in die Wüste. Was wir schon über die Wüste wissen, ist nicht so viel. Wir wissen nur, dass damals in der Vergangenheit von Sumeru gab es 2 Götter und der eine Gott war scheinbar da hinten irgendwie in der Wüste im Westen der Herrscher. Aber ja, deswegen ist hier auch irgendwie so eine Dendromauer. Der Gott, der lebt nicht mehr, schon lange nicht mehr, aber es scheint, die Akademie scheint diese Gerüchte, dass der alte Gott wieder auferstanden ist, zu verbreiten. Ich weiß nicht, ob das mit dem Plan zusammenhängt, den die Akademie hat, Scaramouche zu einem Gott zu machen, ob die dann den gleichsetzen wollen, um die Wüstenbewohner für sich zu gewinnen oder sonst was, aber ja, schauen wir mal, wie es mit der Story weitergeht. Bin auf jeden Fall sehr gespannt. Wie gesagt, ich war nur mal dort, um für Candice die Sachen zu farmen und habe es mir dann halt schon mal angesehen. Wir befinden uns jetzt in der Quest Ein Vierer-Duell. Läuft immer noch im Akt 3.
We finally made it to Karawanen Ribat. It's
Yes.
pretty lively here. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be the divine work of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, right?
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Und Hatham, wir wissen gar nichts über ihn, was er mit dem Herz gemacht hat, nachdem er es genommen hat. Also dieses, nicht das Herz, sondern das göttliche Wissen in der Kapsel, Wissenskapsel.
Huh?
Wer ist der denn aufgekreuzt?
Over here.
Das ist unpopular opinion, aber er ist überhaupt nicht mein Typ.
Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
What are we doing here, Hatham? Aber seine Klamotten sind ziemlich cool. Oh,
What the... Where did he go? How did we lose him?
More Eremite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time? Anyway, Traveler, it seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago.
Dankeschön.
There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
Weißt du was von dem Projekt der Weisen?
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy.
Autonomie.
And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer.
Mhm. Du hast nach mir gesucht?
Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the divine knowledge capsule. Unfortunately, I've run into some difficulties. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be.
Ich will wissen, ob das Wissen sicher ist, woher das wirklich kommt.
Which brings me back to you. The leader of Ein Vierer used the divine knowledge capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from me?
Die Welt mich vergessen, habe ich gehört, bei dem Baum und auch von ihm.
Hatham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
Die Situation ist kompliziert.
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the academia after all. So considering that,
Du hast keine
it
Nase.
is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the divine knowledge capsule. Am I right?
Wir tun so, als wissen wir viel, aber wir wissen eigentlich wenig.
No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are also headed to the desert?
That's right. We have the same plan as you.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aaru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
Alright, let's go.
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go.
Interesting. Geh zum Aaru Village. Auch wenn die vergoldete Reise keine Werbung machen muss, da es sich um ein einzigartiges Gasthaus in der Karawanen Ribat handelt. Unser Grillfleisch ist herzhaft und authentisch. Viel authentischer als in der Stadt natürlich. Selbst nach der anstrengendsten Reise lohnt es sich, vor der Rast etwas zu essen. Hallo. Yes. Wo sind wir hier? Keine Sorge, ich werde dir keine exorbitanten Preise verlangen, weil ich das einzige Hotel in den Karawanen Ribat besitze. Natürlich könnt ihr euch auch bei einem Einheimischen oder einem reisenden Gelehrten hier ein Zimmer mieten. Aber da das ein Außenposten ist, sind die Leute hier sehr unterschiedlich. Ihr müsst also bei der Auswahl eurer Unterkunft sehr vorsichtig sein. I see. Es ist an der Zeit, die neuen Söldner für die Expedition anzuheuern. Noch mehr Ausgaben. Gibt es in der Nähe etwas Nennenswertes? Tut mir leid, ich war in der letzter Zeit sehr beschäftigt. Es gibt Probleme mit der Finanzierung. Ich habe also nicht auf die Dinge um mich herum geachtet. Ja, war sehr hilfreich. Tschuk. Du kannst dein Proviant hier auffrischen. Ich hatte nicht erwartet, jemanden aus Liyue zu treffen. Ehrlich gesagt hätte ich auch nicht gedacht, dass ich so lange hier sein würde. Ich hatte vor, zum Gold zu holen in die Wüste zu gehen. Aber stellte sich heraus, dass ziemlich viele Leute die gleiche Idee hatten. Aber viele kommen an diesen Posten an und stellen fest, dass sie etwas vergessen oder nicht vorbereitet haben. Ich habe darüber nachgedacht und mich entschieden, stattdessen hier lieber in Karawanen Ribat ein Geschäft zu betreiben, indem ich Abenteurern die Möglichkeit gebe, sich mit Nachschub zu versorgen. Wenn ich jetzt so darüber nachdenke, war es eine gute Entscheidung, auf dieses Wüstenabenteuer aufzugeben. Je höher das Risiko, desto höher auch die Rendite. Naja, können wir die Existenz von Risiken doch nicht völlig ignorieren, oder? True? Good, sir.
Before us lies Aaru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa. This landscape is really something else.
Oh?
Wow.
Cyno. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Das war mal ein Auftritt, aber der hat noch nichts gesagt.
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me.
Okay, buddy.
Who is that, Al-Hatham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
Yes. General Mahamatra Cyno, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Hatham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
Ich halte auch nicht große Stücke auf ihn, aber ich werde auch nicht tatenlos zusehen.
Has Al-Hatham done something wrong?
I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Oh.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Cyno. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance.
Aha, auch noch. Alle machen Alleingänge.
Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
Kommt dann der Auftrag von den Weisen?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh! What you would do, traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them.
Well, look at you two,
Oh,
acting all
Dia.
tough and
Dia mag ich.
self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia?
Was macht sie? Hier.
Great! Finally, someone that we can trust!
Then I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aaru Village? Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong. Is this a sandstorm?
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover!
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this wind is too strong! Let's get over there!
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard work? Move it!
Er will wohl nicht mitessen.
Well, this is pretty awkward. Hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
Kann sie auch hinsetzen.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aaru Village.
Our savior has come at last! Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Oh, ich mag sie. Mag sie sehr.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister. Unlike those guys over there.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest.
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So, which of you will begin?
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh? Exile yourself?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However,
Ein Audit.
to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
Oh, es hat ihm nicht gepasst, weil er gern alle judged. Also, I see. Die misstrauen ihm, dann misstraut er dir auch.
So they really are up to no good.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the Academia of today. I believed it would be wise to flee the Academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, they can no longer see nor predict my actions.
Ja, der Feind meiner Feinde ist mein Freund.
I will never give up on this investigation.
Oh,
There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority.
Cyno seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary. Well, Cyno, if that's your story, then why did you see Al-Haytham as a target?
I overheard a conversation between Al-Haytham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Al-Haytham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the divine knowledge capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the traveler.
Al-Haytham?
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the Divine Knowledge Capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the sages. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ein Ahmar mercenary. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia.
By chance?
Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Karawanen Ribat as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the Divine Knowledge Capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been properly studied.
Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia. Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Ja, eventuell.
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up
Kinda
your
so cute.
misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aaru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back, Dia.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Tick-tack.
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright?
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right, let's go. We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
Ist Floor. Oh, Zeit für Foto.
Oh, Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Ah! Here comes another wave!
Seltsam.
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have
Ew.
something to take my anger out on.
Let's see.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Mane in action. I'll leave these to you then.
Propagate!
Our bond is strong.
Pin them down!
Scatter! What? Germinate!
Dissipate. And the wave. Here comes another wave. When are they ever gonna let up?
Lightning terrified! Stand with me!
The creature stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Old man of the village.
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children. I am the chief of Aaru village. Everyone usually calls me Onkel Anpu.
Anpu? War ein süßer Name.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aaru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aaru village refers to mad scholars, exiled here by the academia.
Du bist ganz schön neugierig, sagt er, aber beantwortet dann die Frage.
Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Sie verbrennen quasi ihre Gelehrten im Wald und die es schaffen, behalten sie und die es nicht schaffen, schicken sie einfach in die Wüste sozusagen, wortwörtlich.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
Die verschwinden?
I've had encounters with those people in the past. Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Warum sagen wir, dass wir auch helfen wollen?
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! We need to help get them back home, safe and sound. But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Cyno? You seem like you really don't trust him.
Trotzdem more than Al-Haytham. Die ist ja auch noch da.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates.
Bei Cyno ist es relativ klar, weil er sehr starke Überzeugung hat, deswegen ist sein Motiv sehr klar. Bei Al-Haytham habe ich keinen Plan. Er ist ein bisschen weird.
Let's start by finding a
Dem
spot
traue
to
ich
share
aber
what
nicht.
we know so far.
Aber er soll ja auch so sein, dass man ihm nicht traut. Ich habe gerade gesehen, dass hier eine Katze ist. Das ist ja süß. Was machst du hier, Kleine? Was macht sie vor allem denn in der Kiste? Interesting. Wow. Der Soundtrack in Sumeru ist so gut. Ich bin ein besonders großer Fan von der Kampfmusik. Aber hier ist echt hübsch. Sehr romantischer Ton. Aurora-Reis. Honigdatteln. Mehl. Mehl habe ich immer nie genug. Davon habe ich genug. 100. Kahle Bohnen. New Recipe. Aber ich würde gerne hier ein bisschen ein paar Quests spielen und so weiter. Schauen wir mal erstmal hier oben. Reden wir noch einmal mit Cyno.
Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation?
Warum werden die wahnsinnigen gelehrten Dorfwächter genannt?
One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aaru village. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down. Initially, the people of Aaru village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. But a strange incident one night changed. Aaru village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village was preparing to take everyone to safety. Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. After that, the people of Aaru village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
A soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aaru village? What do you make of it, traveler?
Oh, Hida könnte dahinter stecken.
Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Cyno, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at Aaru village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do. So, what do you make of the story?
Die Macht der wahnsinnigen Gelehrten sollte von den niederen Herren Kusanali stammen.
Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give her power to the mad scholars!
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. Is she really active in Sumeru? The academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt their views. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me, she might as well have been a god that never existed.
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... how should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
Sie hat mir kürzlich das Leben gerettet.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. You two really must have met Lesser Lord Kusanali. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use but easier said than done. especially since we don't have any leads.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
What?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that.
Cyno, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Let's find a way to help him.
Sorry, I was only listening in because I wanted to know where grandpa went.
All right. But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by the name of Isak?
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus often spied on the man. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach him. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. So grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. However, even so, Grandpa retained his calm expression. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace, and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" or
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad.
"Perhaps." Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue on with our lives. It's also my reason for fighting.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you say, Cyno?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for.
Damit erreichen wir Akte 4. Ich mache jetzt einen Schlussstrich, weil das war einiges an Infos, die wir bekommen haben. Und es beginnt Akt 4, König der Streit an die drei Heiligen. Bin ja gespannt, wie das ablaufen wird. Aber wir können erstmal in diesem kleinen Dörfchen bleiben und uns ein bisschen umschauen. Und wir sehen uns dann in der nächsten Folge wieder in Akt 4. Bis dann.